Hi everyone, I am Poibe Purwinda and I'm really glad you are here. And welcome to today's session. We will learn about the semantics of grammatical categories. So let's get started. Okay, we're going to look at something that lies right at the heart of language, but often gets overlooked. What is that? Yeah, the meanings behind grammar. When we think about grammar, we think of grammar. We often think of rules and sentence structure, right? But actually, grammar does not just about that. Grammar does more than just organize our words. It helps us express meaning. We will also explore things like parts of speech, tense, and aspect, but not just as labels. Instead, we will ask what do these categories really mean? Or how does the grammar we use reflect how experience time, action, or even emotion? So let's dive into how language is not just about a form but meaning too. Okay, in this slide, we will talk about the model purposes. This module aims to shift our perspective. We're used to thinking that grammar is just a structure, but there's a twist. Meaning and grammar are tightly connected. We'll focus on two big questions. First, does the meaning of word determine its part of speech? And how can we describe the meaning of tense and aspect? So, it's not just about labeling verbs and nouns. It's about understanding why a word behaves a certain way in context, and why tense and aspect don't just tell us when something happens, but also how it unfolds. And at the end of this module, you will start seeing grammar not just as tool, but also as a way or window into how we think and communicate. Alright, this is quite interesting. Now we move to lexical categories or part of speech. Let's start with something familiar. Yeah, part of speech, or also known as lexical categories. You probably remember this from our elementary school back then, like nouns, verbs, adjectives, adverbs. That's parts of speech, actually. And here's what makes it exciting in semantics is these categories are not fixed. Why? Okay, let's take the sentence. What's your head? This example, watch, is clearly a verb, but when we let's say I lost my watch, it's a noun. So watch in the previous example as a verb, and I lost my watch. Watch in this sentence means a noun. The context is different. So, what's happening? The same word shifts rules depending on how it's used. And that's why in semantics we don't just memorize categories, we look at how words functioned in real communication. It's about patterns, behavior, and meaning. Also, the fun fact, many words in English are multi-categorial. Like they're not look into just one rule. They are flexible, and that flexibility is part of what makes language so expressive. Now let's talk about tense and aspect, the expressing time. Now we move into one of the most fascinating parts of grammar, like I said before, tense and aspect. Let's break it down simply. So, tense answers the questions like, when does something happen? Is it in the past, present, or future? For example, she runs. It's present. And she run. It pass. And what if we say she will run? She will run. It's a future. That's a simple way to understand it. And then when we ask, is that all we need to know? Not really. That's where aspect come in. Aspect shows us how the actions unfold. For example, she built a house. It's already happened. For perspective, she built a house. Okay, for imperfective, she was building a house. It means still on process, ongoing. So tense is about when it happening, and aspect is about how. Let's go deeper into verbs with a concept called action third or lexical aspect. This is all about the inherent nature of actions, how they behave in time, regardless of grammar. We group verbs into 5 basic types. First, state, ongoing conditions like know or believe. Second, activities. This is actions with no endpoint like run or swim. Third, there's an achievement. So this is like instantaneous events. I mean, like win or notice. And next, there is accomplishment. Sorry. Actions that take time but finish, like build a house. Last, there is a simulfactive. So this is on time quick events like sneeze or knock, I mean. So why does this matter? Well, how we combine tense and aspect with these verb types affects the naturalness and clarity of our sentence. For example, she was running. That's activity plus imperfective. And this example sounds smooth. Also, another example, she was noticing. This is achievement plus imperfective, which is sound odd, right? So that's why knowing a verb's action third helps in both grammar and translation. It helps us to capture not just the meaning but the flow of time in the action too. So in this module we learn about grammar is not just about the rules, it creates meaning. Tense, aspect, and word choice helps us to express ideas clearly. Also helps us to use language more effectively. Thank you. I hope you are understand and have fun. Thank you.